There comes a moment in life when you must stop asking the world for permission to shine. A moment when you must stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect version of yourself. That moment is now, because deep within you, there is something powerful. Greatness is not something handed to you, wrapped in perfection, waiting on a silver platter. It is not a birthright or a stroke of luck that lands in your hands without effort. Greatness is discovered in the moments that test your spirit, in the hours when you question everything, and in the times when you stand alone against the weight of the world. It's not found in comfort, applause, or recognition. It's found in struggle, silence, and persistence. You don't stumble upon greatness by chance. You uncover it layer by layer through every challenge you refuse to surrender to. It lives inside you, waiting for the day you decide to dig deep enough to find it. You discover greatness when you walk through failure and keep moving forward. It doesn't reveal itself when everything is easy and smooth. It shows up when nothing makes sense, when you have every reason to stop, but you take one more step anyway. It's in the extra mile no one else sees, in the nights of discipline when everyone else is asleep, and in the moments of rejection when you still choose faith over fear. The truth is, greatness doesn't grow in the soil of comfort. It grows in the storms of adversity. It's in the friction that shapes your strength, the resistance that builds your resilience, and the pain that awakens your potential. There's a version of you waiting beyond your excuses, beyond your fears, and beyond your limits. But you'll never meet that version until you stop waiting for the world to make it easy. Greatness demands something from you. It demands sacrifice. It demands focus. It demands the courage to keep going when everything inside you screams to quit. It asks you to risk being misunderstood, to fail publicly, to rise privately, and to believe in your worth long before anyone else does. You don't become great by avoiding discomfort. You become great by embracing it. You see, life doesn't reward the one who wishes. It rewards the one who works. It doesn't favor the talented. It favors the relentless. The ones who show up day after day, even when they're tired, even when they're doubted, even when progress feels invisible. Greatness isn't a single victory. It's a lifelong process of refinement. Every challenge you face is a chisel, carving away weakness and shaping strength. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback a setup for something greater. The journey may not look glorious, but it's in the unseen effort that greatness is built. Most people wait for signs. A lucky break, the right moment, the perfect condition. But greatness doesn't wait. It moves, it acts, it decides. You don't wait to feel ready, you create readiness through motion. You discover who you are not by standing still, but by daring to step into the unknown. The ones who achieve greatness are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who refuse to let difficulty define them. They chose to see every obstacle as an opportunity to grow, every defeat as fuel for their next rise. Greatness is discovered when you stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with your past self. The world's tough. It's found in the quiet moments of commitment, when no one is cheering, when no one is watching, when the only person holding you accountable is you. It's in those moments that you decide who you are and what you're made of. You don't find greatness in validation. You find it in conviction. When your why becomes stronger than your why not, that's when everything changes. That's when you start living with fire in your heart and purpose in your steps. You are not meant to live small, to hide your light, or to settle for average. The seeds of greatness have always been inside you, waiting for your action, waiting for your persistence, waiting for your belief. The discovery of greatness is not a one-time event. It's a daily choice to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. It's a journey that begins the moment you decide that quitting is no longer an option. Greatness doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, who fight, who endure, and who never give up on the vision of who they're meant to become. There will come a time when life feels heavy, when the weight of your circumstances tries to convince you that you're not enough, that your dreams are too far away, that you've already missed your chance. But what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is belief. The kind of belief that exists beyond circumstances. When everything around you looks like it's falling apart, when nothing seems to go your way, belief becomes your only source of light. It's easy to have faith when life is kind, but true belief is born when everything around you tells you not to. It's in those moments when you must look beyond what you see and trust in what you know. That there is more inside you than what your current situation reflects. Believing beyond circumstances means refusing to let your present define your potential. The world will try to measure your worth based on where you are, but your belief reminds you of where you're going. You might be in a difficult place right now, but it doesn't mean you're meant to stay there. Every storm ends, every season changes, and every struggle carries within it the seed of a breakthrough. The question isn't whether the challenge will end. It's whether you'll believe long enough to see it through. When you believe beyond what's visible, you tap into strength that can't be shaken by what's temporary. Your circumstances are not a reflection of your value. They are a test of your vision. Sometimes life puts you in situations that seem impossible just to see if you'll still choose faith over fear. Every successful person you've ever admired has faced moments where their reality didn't match their dream. They didn't get there because life was easier for them. They got there because they believed when everything around them said to stop. They refused to let their environment dictate their energy. They decided that even though the world around them looked dark, they would still walk like they were heading toward light. Belief beyond circumstances is not denial. It's power. It doesn't mean you ignore the pain or pretend everything is fine. It means you acknowledge where you are, but you refuse to stay stuck in it. It means you look at your circumstances and say, this may be where I am, but it's not where I'll finish. It's the decision to keep your mind fixed on your purpose, even when your reality doesn't yet reflect it. Belief is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming, between the life you have and the life you're meant to live. When you believe beyond your circumstances, you become unstoppable. Life will throw doubt your way, but you will rise above it. People may question your path, but your belief will silence their disbelief. You'll stop being driven by what's seen and start being guided by what's possible. You'll understand that your faith is your weapon, your vision is your compass, and your belief is the fire that will carry you through every trial. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to believe in yourself when nothing seems to work. But that's exactly when belief matters most. Because it's not the easy days that shape you. It's the hard ones. It's when you feel like giving up, yet decide to hold on, that you prove your strength. Every great comeback begins with someone who chose to believe again. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond, how you think, and how you choose to see the road ahead. Your reality can change, your environment can shift, your circumstances can evolve, but belief must remain constant. It's the anchor that holds you steady when the world shakes. The most powerful thing you can ever do is believe when there's no reason to. Because the moment you do, life begins to move in ways that align with your faith. Miracles happen, opportunities appear, and strength you never knew you had begins to rise. So when you feel surrounded by limits, look within. When everything seems uncertain, trust that you are being prepared. Believe not because of what you see, but because of what you know, that your destiny is far greater than your current reality. Circumstances may try to define you, but they can never confine you. Not as long as you continue to believe beyond them. Consistency is the foundation upon which every legacy is built. It is the quiet power behind every success story, the invisible force that separates those who only dream from those who achieve. While talent may open the door and opportunity may set the stage, it is consistency that keeps you standing when others fall away. It is showing up again and again when the excitement fades, when no one is watching, and when the rewards are not yet visible. Greatness is not born from bursts of effort or rare moments of inspiration. It is carved from steady persistence over time. Consistency doesn't always look impressive. In fact, it often looks ordinary. It's the runner who trains every morning before sunrise, the artist who practices brushstrokes, Long after the audience is gone, the entrepreneur who keeps working when the numbers don't make sense yet. There's nothing glamorous about repetition, but repetition builds mastery. Each small action, performed with intention, becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. Over time, those bricks form something unshakable, something that can withstand failure, doubt, and delay. Many people start strong, but fall away when results don't come quickly. They mistake slow progress for failure. But consistency isn't about speed. It's about endurance. Like water shaping stone, consistent effort transforms even the hardest obstacles. It's the long game, not the short burst. The truth is, consistency isn't always exciting. It demands patience when you crave instant gratification. It requires faith when progress is invisible. Yet those who remain consistent understand that every step forward, no matter how small, moves them closer to something extraordinary. Think of the most successful athletes, creators, and leaders. What they share isn't just talent. It's an unwavering commitment to their craft. They practice when they don't feel like it. They improve by fractions of an inch, by seconds, by details. Over time, those tiny margins become massive victories. The same principle applies to anyone striving for something meaningful. Whether you're building a career, a relationship, or a dream, your legacy is written not by your best days, but by your everyday habits. Consistency also builds trust, both with yourself and with others. When you consistently show up, people begin to believe in you. But more importantly, you begin to believe in yourself. You start to develop inner confidence because your actions align with your intentions. You prove to yourself that you can be counted on. That's where transformation happens. Not in one grand gesture, but in the hundreds of small promises you keep to yourself daily. There will be times when the routine feels heavy, when your effort feels unnoticed, and when the journey feels endless. Those are the defining moments. Because consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about never missing a step, but about always taking the next one. You may fail, stumble, or pause, but as long as you return to your purpose, your consistency remains intact. Over time, that reliability becomes your strength, your identity, your legacy. When the world looks back, it won't remember the one-time achievements or fleeting moments of brilliance. It will remember the steady rhythm of someone who kept going. Consistency turns potential into power and effort to excellence. It doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for presence. Every day you show up is a declaration that your vision matters. And when you keep showing up long enough, with heart discipline and patience, your legacy will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. Though it rarely feels that way when you're in the middle of it. It breaks you open, exposes your deepest fears, and forces you to confront the parts of yourself you often try to hide. But within that pain lies immense power, the kind that cannot be taught through ease or comfort. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every loss carries within it the potential for transformation. The pain that tries to destroy you can also be the fire that forges you into something stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever imagined. When life hurts, it's easy to fall into the trap of resentment or self-pity. You ask, why me? Why now? But pain doesn't come to punish. It comes to prepare. It comes to awaken something inside of you that comfort never could. Growth is rarely gentle. It happens through resistance, through friction, through the moments that demand you to rise, even when you feel broken. Every scar you carry is not just a reminder of what hurt you. It's proof that you survived, that you endured, and that you're still here, standing with a story to tell. Pain has a strange way of showing you what truly matters. It strips away the noise, the distractions, and the illusions. It reveals what's real. Your strength, your resilience, your purpose. When everything around you falls apart, you're forced to rebuild, and in that rebuilding, you discover who you really are. The version of yourself that emerges from pain is not the same as the one that entered it. You become sharper, more grounded, more aware of your power. You stop taking the small things for granted and start appreciating the depth of what it means to feel, to fight, to overcome. Turning pain into power doesn't mean pretending it doesn't hurt. It means choosing to rise in spite of it. It means taking the energy of your suffering and redirecting it towards something that fuels your purpose. Every setback becomes a source of wisdom. Every disappointment becomes a reminder of your capacity to adapt. When you learn to embrace pain rather than resist it, you gain control over it. The world's tough. You stop being a victim of your experiences and become the author of your strength. The truth is, some of your greatest breakthroughs will come from your darkest moments. The strength you admire in others was often born in seasons of pain. They didn't get stronger by avoiding hardship. They got stronger by walking through it, by learning from it, by letting it shape them rather than shatter them. You have that same ability within you. Every time you face something you think you can't handle and make it through anyway, you prove your own power. You build mental armor, emotional endurance, and spiritual clarity that no easy road could ever provide. Pain demands that you evolve. It forces you to grow in ways you wouldn't have if everything had stayed comfortable. It teaches you empathy, patience, and humility. It opens your eyes to the struggles of others and makes you more human, more compassionate, more connected. And once you realize that the pain you've endured has actually made you more capable of helping others, more capable of loving deeper, and more capable of creating meaning, you understand that the power was never lost. It was being refined within you all along. So, don't run from pain. Don't numb it or bury it. Sit with it. Listen to what it's trying to teach you. Let it mold you into someone greater. Because the truth is, every ounce of pain you've endured has been preparing you for something more. It's shaping your character, sharpening your purpose, and fueling your fire. And when you finally decide to turn that pain into power, you stop being defined by what hurt you and start being defined by what you became because of it. Leading with purpose means choosing a path that aligns with your values, your mission, and your truth, not the expectations or validation of others. Too many people spend their lives trying to please the crowd, chasing applause instead of impact. They adjust their direction based on opinions, fearing rejection more than regret. But real leadership, real greatness, is not built on approval. It's built on authenticity. When you lead with purpose, your actions come from conviction, not comparison. You no longer need permission to move forward because you understand that your vision is enough. Approval is temporary, but purpose is eternal. The same people who cheer for you today may doubt you tomorrow. And if your identity is built on their acceptance, you'll always feel uncertain. The moment you start living for applause, you lose control of your destiny. Purpose, on the other hand, anchors you. It gives you clarity when the world is chaotic. It reminds you why you started when the journey gets hard. Purpose is not about being liked. It's about being effective. It's about staying true to your calling, even if it means walking alone. Because real leaders don't chase attention. They create direction. There's a quiet strength that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. You stop needing to prove yourself to everyone else. You stop diluting your truth to fit in. You start focusing your energy on making a difference rather than being seen. When you lead with purpose, your work speaks louder than your words. You begin to realize that influence is not measured by followers, but by the lives you impact and the change you ignite. You stop reacting to opinions and start responding to your mission. Leading with purpose also requires courage. The courage to stand firm when your choices are misunderstood. Because purpose-driven people are often questioned by those who can't see their vision. Not everyone will understand your drive, your passion, or your standards. That's not your burden to carry. You're not here to convince them. You're here to fulfill what you were meant to do. The more you align your actions with your purpose, the less you need validation from anyone else. Your satisfaction comes from progress, not praise. When you let approval guide you, you end up living someone else's story. But when you let purpose lead you, you start writing your own. You start waking up with intention instead of insecurity. You make decisions based on what matters, not on what's popular. And over time, people begin to respect not just what you do, but who you are. Because authenticity has a power that imitation never will. Purpose-driven leadership is about impact that lasts beyond your presence. It's about planting seeds that continue to grow even when you're no longer there to water them. Approval fades the moment attention shifts, but purpose leaves a legacy that stands the test of time. The greatest leaders, the ones we remember, were not the ones who sought to be loved by all. They were the ones who dared to stay true to their vision, even when it cost them popularity. They understood that legacy is built by those who choose meaning over acceptance. To lead with purpose is to walk a path that others might not understand, but will one day respect. It's to act with integrity, to speak with honesty, and to move with intention. It's to find peace in knowing that even if the world doesn't applaud you, you are still living a life that matters. You are building something real, not for validation, but for contribution. Because when you lead with purpose, you stop chasing approval and start creating impact. And that is how true greatness is born. Not from being liked, but from being aligned with something bigger than yourself.